The sooner we get started, the sooner we can get to lunch. So I think we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you all for staying for this. This is our second town hall. We've got a lot more details this time around than we did before. So I'm going to get us started. Can we go to the next slide? There we go. Hopefully you can read that okay. If not, that's all right. I'll go over it. What I want you to know is this. What you're about to see and hear in terms of the plans on what we're wanting to do comes from an even bigger and more important why. We have a call to be the church for everyone and anyone that wants to discover more about their relationship with God through Jesus Christ at Strawbridge United Methodist Church. And what we have, these plans are the result of a lot of listening. We've listened to you through our church survey. We've had, we listened to your responses from our previous town hall, from a whole lot of conversations, emails, listening to members, staff, leaders. This is all coming from the community, very much community driven. What we do want to remember, though, is as we grow, we don't want to lose who we are as a church, right? And I think there's some people who think that if you're bigger, that means maybe not as warm, not as friendly. And what we're wanting is a facility that allows to bring in more people who want to worship and learn and grow and be sent into the world without losing who we are in terms of our warmth, inclusivity, and the faithfulness to calling. So I just wanted to kind of connect the dots a little bit. When you see the pictures and hear about the lobbies that we're going to renovate and the gathering spaces that we want to build and renovate is all about our desire to be one church, to have one Sunday school class time, to have opportunities to be in the building together on Sunday morning and throughout the week, to have enough education space for our overcrowded Sunday school classes, to have more space to start more classes as needed in the future. And if anybody's ever tried to find a parking spot at any point in your life, how frustrating is that, right? We want people, when they come to church, to easily find a place, so increased parking, so people don't have to drive around or park on the street. There's nothing more frustrating than that. So this allows us to keep our sense of warmth, our inclusivity, larger and better equipped classes, a nursery space that's dedicated specifically for being a nursery, and that's it, and larger, so that young couples that are visiting with young infants feel comfortable leaving their precious one there. Adding a family bathroom for families, for single parents, for our non-binary friends, and bringing our current bathrooms up to date with the latest ADA standards. How about a room dedicated as a sensory room or a quiet room for our neuroatypical friends, for our friends on the spectrum, or just maybe a single parent with a child that's gotten overstimulated and they're just looking for a quiet space to take a few breaths. A safer choir rehearsal space with risers that aren't scary to walk up. So what we're talking about is a response to our faithfulness to our calling, room for more disciples through parking, education, and choir, room for more mission work. The mission said they really need dedicated storage space, caring through our enhanced security for our children's area, and a respect for the inheritance from those that built Strawbridge. as well as stewardship of gifts, a simple, cost-effective design. That's what we're presenting before you. That's the why. So now I'm going to invite Sam to talk a little bit more detail about the what it is that we want to do. Sam?
Thanks, Todd. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Let's see. My name is Sam Roxburgh. Don't let the dress shirt and coat fool you. It really is me up here. I've been retired for almost a year now, so I don't usually wear this anymore. So I did it just for y'all. Yeah, you're welcome, Todd. He made me. So okay. So I've been a member of the church for over 30 years. I started having worship service over in the rec. We called it the SAC at the time, but yeah, I've been here for a long time. Seen us grow a few times now, and just excited that it's time to grow again. With our attendance and just the surveys we've taken, we clearly have embraced that it's time to grow again. And I'm on a committee that looks over both the parking lot area and how we're going to change the church if we change it here. That committee is being led by Bill Kerner, and he should be up here. And actually, we're videoing this, right, Todd? Yeah, okay, good. So we should thank Bill, because Bill has done so much work to get us here where we are, that you'll see from Town Hall 1 to now. He's led us as a committee. He's led contractors to get a concept down on paper, and that paper costed so that we can advise where we're at and what state we're in and what we have looking forward to this. So if we are videotaping, he can hear too. So let's give Bill a round of applause. So wherever the camera is, thank you, Bill. I'm not so happy you left to go to Japan right now, but we'll get through this anyway. All right, so when we look at the needs of our church, one of the first things you think about is parking. And so the next slide is all about that. The last town hall, you saw a plot of land with a few bubbles on it. We hadn't even purchased the land yet. We were in the process of negotiating that, have gotten through that now, and have progressed what we're going to do on the parking lot, which you can maybe bigger up there. Hopefully, yeah, you can see a little better. So I'll start with the cost. The cost, as you can see, for building the detention pond and the spaces and the bridge is $1.7 million. And you can see what all, let me just explain the picture. I'll do that. So if you think about running on the left side, you can't really see it, but on the left side is Cedarville Drive. That's a street that goes through that neighborhood right there. And kind of on the bottom of the page runs Kingwood Drive. So we've got almost 6 acres in between those two streets. You can see our existing sanctuary in the top right corner of that picture, which is surrounded by the existing parking lot. So that kind of orients you on what we're talking about here, okay? All right, so I think I'll start with the 80 spaces. So right across, there's that ditch. Everybody knows the ditch is over there. Right across from the ditch is where we're going to build 80 parking spaces. And you can see it now in one row. And then right next to it, you see a gray spot. That's 120 future spaces that we're planning on. Should the need arise, we have that space reserved to be able to do that. Now, I will tell you, as we develop the plan here, the shape of that 80 spaces may change a little bit. We may make it a big square instead of one long line. We're working out what's going to be the best for us as a church to have for the first 80 spaces, but it's going to be about 80 spaces in any case. Probably the next thing is the bridge. The bridge that you can see going from the existing parking lot, top right, down to the 80 spaces. That is going to be a combination of a vehicle and a pedestrian bridge. So it's going to have both. And the vehicle bridge is going to be a 2-lane bridge. We see this as ending up kind of being a major thoroughfare for us, and we don't want to have to be tricky on waiting for someone to cross while someone else is trying to go the other way. So it's going to be a 2-lane. And we looked at options. We looked at a lot of options, so I'm just telling you, a lot of work has come to this decision. We looked at a separate bridge for vehicles and a separate bridge for pedestrians. We looked at a 1-lane bridge, and for incremental costs of building this to meet all our needs, this is the way we decided to go. Okay, Yeah, okay, the next is that little, you really, on the bottom right of the new section there, it's really small what I'm looking at here, but on the bottom right of that whole, kind of coming out of the 80 spaces, you'll see a new driveway that lets us exit onto Kingwood Drive. So we've already talked to the community. We aren't there yet, but we know we're going to get there on the having allowable right-of-way through there to get connected to Kingwood Drive. And then that monstrosity on the top left corner is a huge detention pond. And we have to build that. We have to build a detention pond, and we have to, because of city and county requirements, we have to build a detention pond for the whole 6 acres. And that's why it's as big as it is. It's not just for the 80 spaces. That's not allowed. When you develop part of a plot, you have to allow for the retention pond for everything. So we're building it, but we're gonna sod it. It's not gonna have water in it most of the time. So we're gonna use that as an outdoor recreational area as well. It's gonna be designed to be able. The slope's gonna be gentle. You're gonna be able to get down it, and we'll be able to play kickball, kids or adults or whatever. We'll go down there. So we'll have a little walkway getting there from the existing parking lot too. I should probably mention that detention pond location, because when we talked last time on the first town hall, we were talking about the slice that runs along Cedarville Road, right? And there was some mention that there's 6 spots there that houses could be built on that left side of the property. So what we've decided after talking to a lot of people and ourselves is, we had this land donated and purchased for the church, and so we decided, since the best use and the best spot to put that detention pond is where you see it now, we're going to go ahead and use 2 of those spots. And we still have the ability to sell 4 of the 6 slots down in that bottom left that you can see going along Cedarville, but we're not planning on doing that now. That could be an option for us in the future. It could be a fundraising opportunity. There's a lot of choices we have, but right now we're just planning on, we just got the land. We're going to use it for our future use to the extent we can if we don't have to sell it. So I wanted to update you on that. In case you hear 6 spots, now the most we'll be able to do is 4 spots. Just to be clear on that piece. But putting that pond there and using those 2 spots, you can see that huge open area in the bottom left, essentially 4 more acres that we get to use should we need to in the future, or should we want to get with some nonprofit and have some really good use of that land. But right now, all woods. Not gonna take down all the woods in that area at any need. So I kind of like the way it's set out. It resolves our parking issue, and it does so kind of minimizing our footprint to the extent we can. We're not building a detention pond too big. We're building it just as big as they make us, and we're leaving all the woods up where we are not putting anything in. Okay? All right, so let's see. The next slide shows the progress we've made on resolving our other space issue. And you saw some of this out there, but this is, to me, just a kind of a beautiful overview of what our campus is going to look like. Just to orient you, you can see Kingwood Drive running up the left side of the picture, and Willow Terrace running down the bottom, and that new building sits right there. That's what we're talking about putting in place. You can see our architect, who is represented here, MHP, they've done a great job of sticking with the architecture of our existing campus. It still makes our beautiful campus beautiful. It doesn't look like a mega church. That's not what we're going for here. It's just a new building as part of our overall beautiful campus. So I just want to be clear about that. In my opinion, the committee and MHP has done a great job of sticking to what we have and making it just be well integrated. All right, let's see. I think that's all. I'll talk about that one, so let's go to the next slide. Okay, new building. The total cost of the building is, and renovation. We got a significant renovation scope that I'll be talking through as well. So not only do we have the new building, we're going to do quite a bit that I'll tell you to some areas here. I'll give you some details. All that has been costed at $5.7 million. And I should mention, on the parking lot and the 5.7, we've got construction contractors in place, and have given us real estimates to start doing this work. So we're not guessing at this anymore. This is data that we have, that this is what it's going to cost. And we've added some contingency in there in case there's pluses and minuses to work our way through, because I've been in the project world for 30 years before this, and we don't want to come and tell you it's one number and end up being something else. So we feel confident that we're in the ballpark here on both the parking lot and the building cost. Okay, what we're going to build is a two-story building. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. And you may have heard we had some options in the first town hall. If you listen, we had various options. We're picking a two-story option. And then the renovation to reallocate and upgrade the first floor of our existing building right here. Todd talked about these. I'll just mention them again quickly on enlarging and updating the nursery area. We're adding some security to the children's area that I'll show you here in a minute. We're converting libraries to offices, the great hall to classrooms. We're updating the rec bathrooms. Todd mentioned all this, and the sensory room as well. He mentioned the choir, the safety, the risers, and you heard the overwhelming sigh of relief from some people. We understand that. That's definitely going to get done. The bride's room is going to become repurposed to be an appropriate size robing area for the choir. That'll be much better for our choir here. And we're actually going to move our modesty rail out so we can add a whole layer of choir back there, because our choir is growing beyond our current capacity back here, which is fantastic news to have. So not only a parking spot and a classroom, but a seat for the choir too. It's all coming. We're going to renovate the hallways on the first and second floor of the existing education building. I'll show you that in a minute. And then some work in the narthex and the bathrooms in this area here. Okay, let's go to the next slide. This is the first floor plan of the whole area. I guess if you think about the overview slide that I showed you, Kingwood Drive is running up the left side of this picture, and Willa Terrace is running along the bottom. So same orientation as we had on that overview slide. Where to start? I don't know if you can tell, but some of the areas have hatching in them, and any of those areas means we're not doing any work in those areas. So anything that doesn't have the hatching, we're going to do some type of renovation, and we're a little bit all over the scope of whether it's a little bit or a lot, depending on the particular situation. I'll start in the top right where it says children. We're going to convert those existing 5 rooms into 4 rooms. And it's going to be much better for as far as the nursery area goes. It gets a lot of space. And you can see kind of below the word children, there's a door there. Just to the bottom, toward down and left, there's another door. There's a variety of doors, I will say, and a security way to provide additional security for our kids while they're in that class. We're still working the details of that. I think I can still find a way to get there without using a door, so we're still working on that. But the bottom line is that system is going to be in place. The Great Hall is that big pink space in the bottom. We're splitting that into 2 and going to use that for classrooms, additional children's classrooms. Not pictured because the floor plan doesn't change, but the sanctuary is kind of top left, and I talked about the stuff we're going to do with the choir. It's renovation work, but it's not going to change the floor plan significantly. And then the new building is what you see in blue on the bottom left. That's that new building that I showed you at the beginning. The first floor is all going to be adult classrooms. That's the plan. And the entryway. So if you start at the sanctuary and here, and you walk down that hallway, which is that left gray area there, you will come to a door which exists now in front of what is room 151. You're looking out to Willa Terrace. Now you're going to be going into the new building. So that's the entrance. And really, if you just picture yourself at that door looking into the new building. So if we go to the next slide, that's kind of what you will see. That's you standing at that door looking into the new building. You got a beautiful short entranceway here. We're going to use some of the stained glass at the Great Hall into this. The plan is to use that into this entranceway. I don't know, it's just, I love this view, and it's a great vision for us to work toward on what you're gonna see when we add this new building. You can see some stairways in the middle on the left, that's going up to the second floor. There's all kinds of classrooms that you saw in the blue there as you look out and to the right. I don't know, it's a wonderful integration to our campus, if you ask us. It's completely enclosed, so no weather-related issues as you go from one building to the next. We may have had some discussion about whether it's here, we may have not, but just in case you're worried, it will be completely enclosed and air-conditioned, and yeah, that's good. I know some people are really relieved about that. Okay, so the next slide is a picture, a little bit of some of our renovated scope. If you picture yourself over here in the office, standing by the desk that's outside, and you're looking, you can see the elevator on the right here on this picture. So that's the view you're getting, and you're looking into the children's area. You can see the doors that are being put in place, the check-in area on the left as we go through there. New flooring. It's just it's an inviting yet secure area for our members to bring their kids in and for anybody to walk through now. It's just a beautiful, beautiful area, if you ask me. I think that's probably, so if you go down the hallway, straight down, the picture you're looking in, that's where the nursery is. And the next next slide is one of the nursery rooms. If you're standing at the doorway to the infant nursery, this is what you're going to see. So it's a much bigger room. It's updated, brighter, and better, much more practical, along with being more secure. So, we recognize this is one of our big needs here, and so we've tackled this head on, and I'm really excited about it. Okay, let's climb the stairs to the second floor. So this is the second floor plan above the area that I showed you. So it includes the existing building as well as the new building. Same orientation with Kingwood Drive and Willow Terrace. In the existing area, you can see there's a lot of hatching, which remember means not a lot of renovation. So a lot of this is more repurposing in the existing area because we're trying to be cost efficient here and minimal renovations. Let's see, the new building is on the bottom left. Those stairs that we walked up, which were on the left side of that picture I showed you, are on the right side of that green area you can see coming up to the second floor. The other thing that I'm really excited about, I get excited about silly things, I understand. But if you look just above the stairs, you will see a hallway that goes to the existing building. And that's going to help our flow here tremendously. It does that for sure, and it allows us to build a new building without having to put in a new elevator, which is a huge thing. Elevators are not something we want to put in if we can prevent from doing so. If we can utilize what we have, this allows us to do that. You'll be able to use the existing elevator, walk down that hall, or come down the hallway however you can, and go all the way into the second floor. So I'm really happy about that. So we got two entrances to getting into this building, first floor and second floor. MHP did that for us as far as brainstorming how we could make that happen. I was really, really happy about that, Jose. All right, that's Jose, by the way. We should give him a hand for that. Really fantastic work on this. Okay, the second floor is obviously going to be, you can see, I'm not ready yet. Thank you. The second floor, you kind of ruined the surprise. All right, so anyway, the second floor is going to be dedicated, as you can see in green, from the youth perspective. That's the plan, and the big space on the bottom right of that green is the youth gathering room, a big room for us, and you might be able to see a table on the left there of that big room. And if we go to the next slide, there's the big table. You're sitting behind the big table looking at that room. So, just how inviting is that for our youth group to have a big room to gather to, and then classrooms to go to, small groups, however they want to split up. It's just it's for me, being associated with the youth for so long in this church, it's an exciting thing for me. Okay, so as I said, we're on the second floor of the new building here, And at the last town hall, we spoke about options of what we were going to build. And so obviously, the committee has spent a lot of time and prayers and thoughts on what to build through those options. And you can see, as we're talking about the second floor, what we've decided to do. And this next slide is why we decided that. There's a lot of reasons to do it, but these are the three main reasons to build the second floor. A one-story building would just meet what our needs are right now. Barely. We'd still be a little tight, but we could meet. We think we could do it with one floor. So that would allow no room for growth. So as we get the parking full, we fill up a little more, we're going to be tight almost immediately. It doesn't make sense to me. It didn't make sense to the committee, so we said that's not a good idea. The other thing that's important in this is that spot that is over there where the new building is going to go is the last unused spot over on this side of the ditch. You saw we got 4 acres on the other side, but having part of our integrated church and Sunday school be over on the other side may not be the best use. This is the last place we have to use, the last place. So if you build a one-story, you're done, and the next time you want to expand from where our current needs are now, you're going to build it over there, or you're going to take more parking spots here and build more over there. So it just made sense for us to do it. And then finally, economics. If you build that first floor, you're going to pay the $500 plus per square foot. It's not cheap, but if you put the second floor right on top of it, you get twice the space, and that whole second floor is less than it's about half the cost of building it now. So it makes a whole lot of sense to do it now rather than not do it, and we went through can we build one story now, then rip the roof off and put the second floor on? You can't do that. It's impractical. It's not you're not going to be able to do that. So don't think that that's a possibility. So all that is why we ended up saying, let's build the second floor. Sam Roxburgh's view is, if we can't get there and build a 2-story building, we should not build anything on it yet. We should wait until we can do that. And I just went off script, and Bill will talk to me when he comes back. But that's just, I told you, it's Sam Roxburgh's view, is let's build a 2-story while we can. It's here. It's going to be the best time to do it. Let's not use that space, and we're going to use it fully with a 2-story building. All right. Sorry, Bill. All right. So, all right, I want to talk, the next slide is just a couple of smaller components that we're including in the scope just for transparency. The biggest part, it's $300,000, and the overwhelming biggest part of that is re-roofing the existing buildings. I mean, they're at the end of their useful life. You can see they were put in 2001, so they need to be done during this 3-year period that we're going to be building anyway, so we're including it in this campaign. There's some digital signage that we think would have a large impact on our communications at any time, and then particularly during services, to have some videos out there that people, if for whatever reason had to step out there, they can still be part of seeing and hearing the service out there. We're going to put a couple of them in what would be essentially the new bride's rooms, the nurseries, just in case parents had to leave for whatever reason, they can still be connected to the service. And then some accent lighting, some better lighting in here. Apparently there's shadows on me right now, and you don't know how good looking I really am. With the new lighting, we'll be able to tell Todd's a nice looking gentleman there. So, but one of the things that people do to see whether they want to come to Strawbridge, first thing to do is look at our videos, and then they start coming to church. And we want that kind of to be a good representation, and the way it's right now, and with some of the issues we have with the lighting, it's not the best lighting for that kind of stuff. So we're going to make some minor upgrades there. All right, I know I'm talking too long, so the next slide is the total that we're looking for. You can see the things that I talked about with the first 3 lines. Let me talk real quick about construction phase financing. So we're asking for, the campaign you'll hear from David is asking for pledges over 3 years. And we're building this at the same time. It may be even a little shorter, honestly, than 3 years. And the spend curve during those 3 years is it's not even as those 3 years progress. So there's going to be times where we're going to have short-term money to pay the contractors while we're waiting 6 months or a year for the next pledges to come in, and we wanted to include that in here. It may not happen. I mean, if we accelerate our pledges enough and we can meet the construction curve, that'll go away. I mean, it's going to be what it'll be, but we took a shot at it so we could tell you what the total cost of all this is and be transparent about it. So not a lot of money, but not nothing either. So we included that in there. And that makes the total cost be $7.9 million. Schedule on the next slide, everybody wants to know when this is going to get done. We're targeting, assuming we get to go ahead in August, September timeframe. We are doing work right now that's not a lot of money, but keeps the progress working while we're determining how much we can raise from the capital campaign. With that work that's ongoing, we expect to be able to complete the parking lot by the second quarter of next year and get it used. That'll be fantastic. We're planning on the whole building, you can see on the bottom there, being done at the end of '26, and importantly, we're going to do the renovation work during the summer, especially in the nursery area, so we don't do anything to BBLC during the summer. We'll have to figure out how we manage ourselves during services, but we'll do that. We're a flexible church. We'll find a way to do that. Anyway, it's all going to be done by the end of '26. So a pretty short schedule here to get this done. I mean, it's not instantaneous. It does take some time to engineer and design and then build it, but that's pretty quick if you ask me. Final slide, just to be completely transparent on the whole story, is the annual cost. We're gonna increase the building size by about 25% of what we have now, and with that comes electricity and custodial services and insurance, and you can't see that, but the bottom line is we think that'll be about $50,000 per year, which is less than 3% of our 2024 annual budget. But we need to be aware of that, because if we build something, they will come and we'll have to spend money on it. So that's the plan, is about $50,000 we think will cover that. So that's the full story of where we're at now. There's been a lot of work getting here. And I'll stop there and hand over to David, who will talk about how we're going to actually fund this. Yeah.
All right. So for those of you that were in one of the services this morning, I gave a little preview of kind of where we are with the capital campaign, but this is an opportunity to go a little more in depth. Also, we'll have some questions and opportunity for that as well. So we are really in the beginning of the heart of the campaign. And I can tell you that we presently have about $500,000 available to us through our capital reserves. You saw the price tag of $7.9 million. So that put us right around $7 to $7.5 million that we hope to raise over the next 6 weeks associated with the Embrace the Spirit campaign. If we were able to get between $5 and $7.5 million, then we believe we'll be in a position to move forward with all of the things that Sam and the committee and church council have approved and proposed to be a part of our expansion and renovation. Now, I will tell you that the capital campaign has actually already been going on for several months. We had lead gifts events a couple of months ago, and monies are already coming in for those events and those lead gift gatherings that we had. In addition to that, later this month, on April 28th, we are going to have what's called advanced gifts, and that's another gathering where folks who are interested in perhaps committing before Commitment Sunday in May will have a chance to visit, gather, maybe have some one-on-one time, hear a little bit more about what's going on and how we are going to fund this campaign. The campaign itself will end on May 19th with Celebration Sunday, and that celebration will be here at the church following the services. And I'll tell you, it's going to be fun, and it's going to be exciting because I'm confident that we are going to have a lot of commitments come in on May 19th to afford us this campaign. I will tell you that this has been an unusual campaign in that the presentation that Sam just made in the last half hour is something that in most churches would have been done 3 or 4 months ago, quite frankly. The church would have had a time to digest and understand fully exactly what we were going to do. But the church and its leadership, I think, made the right decision to simultaneously move forward with a campaign and develop that which we are going to do and been proposed and approved now by church council. So we've really now reached that point in the building part, in the proposal part, that in most campaigns would have happened in January or December or November of last year, where you all would have had a chance to see exactly what we're going to do. Well, all that's water under the bridge now. We have that proposal. It's been approved by church council. We know what we want to do, and so now our eye is on the prize. And that prize is raising the appropriate amount of money over the next 6 weeks so that we can put these dreams into effect. I will tell you, this town hall, we can visit. You've been given cards. You can give us your thoughts. It's early returns, but I tell you this morning, many of the Sunday school classes got an opportunity to hear Pastor Todd and his message. I know there was a lot of robust conversation in those Sunday school classes. I've already heard about it. I've already heard about it between the Sunday school class hour and the second service, and then after the service we heard more feedback. So I know that there was great conversation taking place as part of our affinity groups that were put on today. That will continue over the next couple of weeks. I hope that you will continue to have that robust conversation. What are the things you're excited about? What are the things that make a difference that this campaign is going to be successful? And so I hope that if you haven't had a chance to see the video in some of the other groups that will be meeting over the next couple of weeks, that you have that robust conversation as well. I think I covered everything on this slide. Perfect. So, of course, the big question is the what if question about what if we don't reach our goal. If we don't reach our goal of $7.5 million, actually two things have already been in the works. The building committee has put together, through its process as well as church council, some of the things that we may not be able to accomplish if we don't reach the goal. Kind of rating and ranking, if you will, those things that might not make the cut if we don't make the goal. Those will be tough decisions. Those will be decisions that will be determined by the leadership of the church, by church council, but we do have to recognize that there may be things that we're unable to accomplish if we don't get to our goal. Secondly, there is the possibility, if the church decides as a body to take on debt, we would present that, and that's already been worked on. In other words, so we don't have to start that process if we choose to move forward with debt. And so the process behind that has already started, what that looks like, what that would cost, what that would mean, what it would mean to borrow certain amounts of money, how to finance that. We've got, Adam has been working on that as part of the campaign co-chair. And so we didn't want to wait until we had all the results to decide what we might want to do, whether to take on debt or to cut parts of the proposal. But the bottom line is we have those options if and when we need to. I am of the belief that we will raise $7.5 million, if not more, and those problems will all go away. So we have an easy solution for this slide, never appearing again, and that is over the next 6 weeks, you prayerfully consider your commitment to the campaign, and we reach $7.5 million, and then we don't have to see this slide ever again. So that is that. So let's move on. I don't want to open up the questions about debt and all that. That's not what we're here today to talk about, or what we would do or cut. Those are decisions that will be made later if, in fact, we're unsuccessful in the overall campaign. I kind of went through all of these. I think basically already our prayer contact has taken place over the last 2 weeks. Thank you to the 35 individuals who I know at times were a little frustrated because apparently people don't answer their phones anymore. And so we went a little different route. We did phone calls, we did emails, and we did texts. Apparently there's folks out there that really think text is the most personal way to get in touch with someone. So if you're one of those people, that's great. I'm a talker. I'll pick up the phone. I'll talk to you too. So appreciate all those efforts by the prayer team. The affinity groups is what I just talked about. Those groups that have been meeting in small Sunday school classrooms, the music program, the whole 9 yards, seeing Todd's message. And I'll tell you the feedback in my Sunday school class this morning was very positive to Todd's message, that we are really doing this for the right reasons. And so I appreciate him putting that together. In the next 2 weeks, You will be receiving a detailed brochure that is in the process. It's been gone through a lot of drafts, a lot of additions, a lot of things that we wanted to make sure you had. I urge you to take that detailed brochure, put it on your kitchen counter, put it on your kitchen table, sit down, read through it. It will include a lot of valuable information. It will include many of the things that you've seen today. But most importantly, it'll give you an opportunity to digest what it is we're trying to accomplish. It'll give you an opportunity to highlight or ask questions or put question marks next to things. This detailed brochure that's going to be coming out in the next 2 weeks really is your opportunity to sit down and prayerfully consider what it is you want to do if you embrace the spirit of this campaign. So I urge you, don't stick it in the bottom of the pile. Don't stick it on the refrigerator and get back to it. Take a few minutes and really digest that document. As I said, we have an activity coming up on April 28th. That's our advanced gifts. Those invitations have gone out. The follow-up calls have been made. But the advanced gifts meeting on April 28th, which will take place immediately following the 11 o'clock service, is open to everyone. So if you are ready to sign up and be a part of this initial part of the campaign, we would love for you to attend the advanced gifts meeting. Just let us know, let some of the leadership know. I know we've got folks that can take you down, and we can make sure you're a part of it. It's not a closed-door meeting. It's not some secret society of big givers. This is an opportunity for anyone and everyone who would like to be a part of the campaign early on April 28th, where we can announce some of the monies coming in prior to the final public campaign. And then you guys are going to want to come to church every single Sunday between April 21st and May 12th. And I'm going to tell you why. We've got so many events that are already in the works. We're really going to transform this church. I've seen and heard about the plans being made for our Gratitude Sunday, for our Celebration Sunday. This is the place you're going to want to be between April 21st and May 12th. So with that, I think that's all I had. We've got Jose here, Sam is here, obviously Todd is here. I don't know how we want to handle questions, if at all, but that's all I have.
Okay, so here's what I would say. Since thank you so much for staying during lunch. What I'm going to do now, did y'all get the blue cards? So if you have something that, they're white cards. Oh, thanks. Last time they were blue. If you have something that you absolutely want to know or say but can't stay because you want to go eat, put it on a white card and leave it. If you want to stick around and ask a question to Sam, to David, to Jose, or myself, you certainly may. We just didn't want to keep you any longer than we needed to. So, that's it. Can I pray for us and then let you go? Everybody good with that? All right, let's pray. Gracious and holy God, we're going to thank you ahead of time for the ways that you will resource this vision. We want to be the best church for this community, which means having room for those in our community, whether it's in the parking lot, in the sanctuary, or in a classroom. And so we're going to thank you for the ways that you are going to provide to allow us to be your best church for the community, for the world, inside and outside these walls. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you all for staying. Stick around if you have questions and come up and ask.